Shalom Aleichem, everyone. This week is Parsha Shemini, and in this week's Parsha we have all of the dinim of the kashrus of animals, the various animals we can eat, that we're not allowed to eat. And the Bali Musar point out that there are a lot of symbols when it comes to this simanei kashrus. For example, of course, when it comes to the birds that we're not allowed to eat are typically predator birds. They have an aggressive nature to them. The birds that we're allowed to eat, the fowl, are more docile type of animals. When it comes to animals themselves, mammals themselves, so an animal has to be mafris parsa and has to be shosa shesa malagera. It has to have split hooves and it has to chew its cud. Chew its cud, the fancy English word for that, it has to ruminate. The word ruminate is to think, to contemplate. An animal that chews its cud, when I think about being reflective, I have to chew on something. I have to think about it. I have to chew it over. A reflective kind of process. It doesn't just eat. It eats with a process, with a slow, graduated process. Mafris parsa perhaps indicates split hooves. It can go in two directions. It has bechira chavshis. It can go right. It can go left. All symbolic of simanei kashrus of a human being. When it comes to fish, so a fish, in order to be kosher, needs to have snapir v'kaskeses. It has to have scales. Scales look like armor, a coat of armor that protects the fish from the elements that might cause its demise, to protect it from the outside element. Just like a human needs scales, needs a coat of armor to protect from the Yetzer Hara that might be around him, and fins. If the scales are not enough, you have to run away. You have to be able to flee those situations that are challenging. There's a beautiful comment that the Torah makes. There are secondary simanei kashrus when it comes to fish. One of those secondary simanim that is not accepted by all the Rishonim, but some Rishonim say, if an animal, you can't tell if it has fins or scales, but the fish has a backbone, has a spine, so then yes, that too can be used as a secondary siman kashrus, according to some Rishonim. What's the significance of the spine? The spine, the backbone, allows the fish to swim upstream. Certain fish, jellyfish, starfish, they don't have a backbone. They just flow wherever the ocean takes them. If the ocean is flowing eastward, that's where they go. When it comes to a fish that has a backbone, a spine, it can swim upstream. No matter what direction the river is flowing, it can swim against the tide. And perhaps that too is a siman kashrus of a human being. The ability to swim against the tide, to go upstream. When the world is in one direction, when the flow is in a certain way, the ability to go against the tide. These simanei kashrus are certainly halachic matters, but the Bali Musar point out they have hashkafic implications as well. They teach us how to combat Yetzer Hara, how to combat sometimes the challenges of the world around us in order to elevate us and make us more complete, more whole Yidden. Have a wonderful Shabbos Kodesh.